Hi, I'm Leah Montalongo, and welcome to Spiritual Warrior World podcast. Joining me today is one of my very closest team members, Pong Tao, and we are going to introduce Pong to you, the viewers, the fans of Spiritual Warrior World, and we're going to take about 20 minutes or so and just get to know all about Pong. So, Pong, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to our fans and viewers?
Hello, everyone. My name is Pong. I live in beautiful sunny Florida. Let me see here. What do they want to know about me, Leah?
Well, oh
So
my gosh,
I am
yeah.
the oldest. So I am the oldest of six. I grew up in Wisconsin, very different from Florida. Uh, I am the only one of the siblings, though, that was actually born overseas. I was born in a refugee camp in southern Thailand, and our parents came over when I was about 2 or 3 months. So I was a tiny little baby, obviously no memories of the camp, thank goodness. And they landed somehow in Wisconsin, uh, and that was where my mom's side of the family was at. So the rest of my brothers and sisters were born in Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Wow.
Let's see here. I know, it's crazy. So I've lived in Florida since 1997. I feel like an OG.
Your whole life you've been in Florida,
My,
pretty much.
I feel like it.
Yeah.
I feel like it. And right now I just do a lot of, I am married, love my husband, and he supports so many things, all the things that I do. I'm a real estate broker. I'm an actor. I work with Leah with the spiritual world warrior world community. Um, I love to volunteer. I'm a very avid volunteer, so I do a lot of volunteer in the community. I love to eat. I love spicy food. The spicier, the better. So that's
I
a little bit
love
about
it.
me, Leah.
Yeah. Well, I want to share with our viewers that you are basically our marketing director. You are my right hand. You are the one that always helps us organize what are our next best steps. And you have been such a great addition to Spiritual Warrior World podcast. And I am certain for sure that we would not be where we are if you didn't come on board all those many months ago. And so it's really been just such a gift to have you as, we have never met in person, which is wild. But we were introduced to each other from Matt, our other team member. And as soon as you and I jumped on a phone call, we didn't even FaceTime. So I didn't even see your face. We just started talking, and I just felt so connected to you. And you were so willing to just come on board. And it seemed like you were able to understand the vision of Spiritual Warrior World podcast. And you've just been such a great asset. And so I just wanted to take a minute to acknowledge, and to let all of our viewers and fans know you're the one that's putting all our TikToks up and all of our Instagram posts, our Facebook posts, and on top of that, you have so many other things going on. And I just found out right before we started filming this podcast that you're actually a grandma. So
Yes.
that is a wild, a wild truth. Do you want to share just a little bit? I'm just curious. How did you become a grandma at only 30 years old? How is that possible?
Oh, you're cute. You're cute. Um, so thank you, Leah, for giving me 13 years off of my life. So growing up, I helped raise my younger brothers and sisters. And growing up, our parents raised us to be very independent. When they came to the United States, they didn't know any English. So English was our first language. And even though there's four girls, our parents did not raise us to be, a good wife. We were shown it, but they wanted us to be more independent. They wanted us to be educated and be able to take care of ourselves. So growing up, I actually never really thought of like getting married and having kids and, the white picket fence. And it was always, take care of myself, start some businesses, do my own thing. make some changes in the world, meet people. And I met my husband, of which we've been together since 2010. And we got married in 2019. But he has a son from a previous marriage. And his son is actually a boat captain.
Oh,
So his
wow.
son can captain boats. And
That's so
he works for one of the local I guess, fishing boat companies, and they'll take people out to whenever they want to go fishing for big fish out in the Gulf. So his son is married and has two daughters. So I get to skip parenthood,
cool.
which I think parenthood is pretty difficult. I think, and I get to be the cool grandma.
Oh, yeah. You are totally a cool grandma. That, yeah, when we popped on and you had your one granddaughter, you were like, this is my granddaughter. I really thought you were kidding. But that's incredible. And I am a parent, and parenting is extremely difficult. And I do hear that being a grandparent is a lot of fun because you don't have to take the responsibility of the discipline and grounding and all those things. You get to be the fun, cool grandma. So that's so incredible that you have that extra layer to you and you get that family. Um, okay, so why don't we go ahead and get started finding out a little bit more about your spiritual warrior side and go through our questions that we have here that we use for all of our guests. And we'll start with our first question. If you can share with us and the viewers, what does it mean to you to be a spiritual warrior?
So being a spiritual warrior, I feel like being a spiritual warrior encompasses so many things, but probably in the heart of it, it's someone who is disciplined, self-aware, works on themselves, are willing to go to bat for other people, and they believe in the greater good, and they also believe in something that's greater than them. So,
Yeah, I love that. I think definitely tapping into the greater good, something bigger than them, brings in this whole sense of community. All right. So if you could share with me a time, maybe there's one or even two times that you believe you were either being a spiritual warrior or maybe becoming a spiritual warrior.
wow, that's a really good question. That's a really good question, and I don't really think that there was how do I say it? I don't think that there's like a moment where it was like an epiphany, right? So I think a big part of it is culturally, our culture, we we don't believe in like in a God, right? We believe in that. We believe in the energy of the universe. We believe in that all things on earth has spirits.
Hmm.
So a big part of it is culturally. A lot of the spirituality was things that um, I encountered, and that we practiced the way of life of spirituality growing up. So when it comes to putting together spiritual warrior, a lot of being a warrior is walking through the path of life and discovering your strengths, your weaknesses, um, learning how to discipline yourself. So I would say, well, when I left home when I was 17, I feel like that would be the start of the path. Leaving everyone I knew and, drove across the country. I went from Wisconsin down to Miami all by myself, didn't know a single person. So I would say that my journey as far as a warrior journey would have started in Miami. And then through the years, I learned how to better myself. I learned to be able to be more patient, build more courage, take more risks, so that I can be a better person and so that I can help more people. So
Wow. Yeah, that makes so much sense. I could really relate to that too. You know, I left home at such an early age and kind of was ready to take on the world. Um, and I think your spirituality kind of develops as you're in the world. You either grow and you become better and evolve, or you don't. And then you shrink and other things can manifest in your life. So I think, yeah, you find your spiritual growth when you're facing those challenges and becoming more of a whole person. So, yeah. Um, okay. So then, and I might know this a little bit, but for you, Pong, how do you cultivate your spirituality?
cultivating spirituality. I mean, I guess I would say a big part of it is being able to stay tuned into, I guess, the world, like Mother Nature, like the energy of the world. Um, we live close to the beach. We live by a trail. So I think a big part of it is being able to just not be like stuck at work or stuck inside, a house or a building, and
Mm.
being able to get out there and kind of, in a way, sounds kind of cheesy, but like be one with Mother Nature, or be able to feel the sun ray on the skin. And so, it cultivates by continuing to believe um that I am a part of something that is greater of this universe, and being out there and just being a part of it and allowing it to touch me physically, and mentally and emotionally, so, and spiritually.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
So
And
every day, every
yeah,
day
I
I do
get
that.
that sense of you. Every day your posts are rise and shine, sun shines. You know, it's always that positive, vibrant energy that you exude, and I relate to that too. It's like on the daily, I'm outside. Today it was sunny. I worked out in my backyard. I'm, out with the dogs, going for as many walks as I possibly can. Um, yeah, and that's when I really feel connected to that divine, higher, higher, the hierarchy of the world, that there is, this all encompassing energy. So yeah, I love that. And let's see, let's move on to our next question. And I think you kind of already touched upon this, but if you can share a virtue that you believe a spiritual warrior should embody and why. And if there's more than one, that's fine too. But whatever really,
Um,
yeah, sticks out to you.
so I think there's two that I feel embodies a warrior or a spiritual warrior. One is discipline, and the other is love. Um,
Mm.
it takes it takes a lot of consciousness and a lot of understanding what you are doing and what you're not doing, and disciplining yourself um, to make the choice, right? To make what we feel is the right choice, whether that choice affects me negatively, but helps someone else positively, or whether that choice is for evil or for good, right? So I feel like discipline in someone's life, and it could be something as simple as like disciplining yourself in what you eat, disciplining yourself in exercising, um, you know, disciplining yourself on not talking back to people when when they're talking such bad things, and you want to say something, but you discipline yourself to be able to just uh, be the more calm person. So I truly think discipline is a trait and a characteristic that many people don't want to nurture. They don't want to cultivate. They just want to do the easiest thing. They feel they just want to take the easy path, and that may be for them, right? But a true warrior is someone that is able to discipline themselves to where they are able to make those harder decisions that a lot of people don't want to make. Um, and then when it comes to love, I mean, love embodies so many other emotions, and I just, like, a big part of me feels that we are impacted by a lot of, news and a lot of, death and a lot of, riots and just like so many things, so many negative things happening that I understand that it can make people fall easily into um, feeling overwhelmed and stressed uh, and that, oh no, the world is falling apart, right? So being able to still see all that and get all that energy and change it into you being able to show love, I feel is something that should always be cultivated. And, you know, love is not weakness. I feel like a lot of people think love is weakness. And, just because you're able to love and show love and be able to care, it's actually a strength because not everyone can actually care and show love. So discipline and love.
Yeah, I hear you. And what's interesting is discipline is actually a form of self love, right? Because when you're disciplined, you're taking care of yourself, you're doing the right actions, and it's challenging. Like you said, people want to do the quick fix, the easy thing. We see it all the time, and they'd rather run from the feeling or from the work that they have to do on themselves, or to learn how to be patient, or to learn how to be silent. Like that takes discipline. And on the other side of that is a vulnerability, that is rooted in love. Because when you're vulnerable, even though you can get confused because it can feel sad or weak or something like that, it really is strength and like rooted in love. So, yes, I agree with you. Those are two great virtues that creates a spiritual warrior. Um, okay, let's move on here to our next question. Oh, and this one you kind of already touched upon a little bit too, is for you, what is some of your physical training or activities that you do, just on the daily that are a part of, like, take us through a day in Pong's life? And I'm sure there's 20 different things, but tell us what it's like.
Oh my gosh. Um, well, typically I always try to find time before I eat in the day to go for a walk. Um, Walking, jogging. I have to admit, I'm not really a good runner, but I do take walks, and from time to time I'll jog just to bring the heart rate up.
Yeah.
But walking and jogging, yeah, walking and jogging for at least 3 miles. So usually I'm out for minimally an hour. So it's like an hour and a half, just going out walking and um, just being out there, whether I'm walking to the beach, whether I'm walking downtown or on the trail. Walking is one of my biggest activities that helps me for my mental health, but it also
Yeah.
helps me stay in shape. It helps me to gain clarity, and it helps me start my day on a positive, uplifting note. Let's see here. So walking, I love dancing. I go to the gym. I don't go to the gym as often as I should, but I go to the gym and I'll do light weights. So I part of my physical training is I don't want to bulk up, but I gotta become stronger, right? Physically stronger so that I can take on the challenges of the day. Um, but yeah, so the gym, walking, um, stretching, but those are the main activities in physical training that I do. And I recently started to get into self defense, like Krav Maga,
Nice.
and so that has been very interesting. I used to do Taekwondo. I almost was a black belt, but I used to do Taekwondo back in my earlier days, in my 20s. So, but I would love to continue my Krav Maga and just continue to learn self defense. So,
Yeah, I love that. I'm definitely in the same headspace as well. I started doing some heated yoga at a gym locally, and the instructor teaches Krav Maga. And I haven't yet gone into the studio, but it's definitely the headspace. Nowadays, we have to continue on our spiritual warrior path and be able to defend ourselves. That's just the reality. So, um, I love that those are your outlets. And let's see, what else do we have here? Okay, you already touched upon this one too. Um, how do you work on your mental wellness? Sounds like for you, it's walking. Are there other things that you do, like journaling or praying, meditation?
Sure. So, um, mental wellness, working on our mental health is definitely something that I don't want to say preach, but I talk about it all the time because I feel like we have to get away from the stigma of, the moment someone talks about mental health or mental wellness, that it's a bad thing,
Mm.
Um, but in reality, when we see all this craziness that's happening in this world, a lot of it has to do with the mind and the mental wellness of, of the folks who are actually, harming other people. So I never want to be that person. But so working on my mental health is very important. The walks help a lot because I'm out in Mother Nature. So spending a lot of time in Mother Nature versus like being in the gym.
Yeah.
So the gym is good. The gym is good for its purpose. But in the end, I like to spend more time being out towards the beach or being outside because it's a different energy, and it's a different form of helping the mental wellness. I practice gratitude every day. You know, every day when I wake up, I'm always expressing what I'm grateful for. The mind of a grateful person is a different mindset than the mind of someone that always wishes they had what other people have. Um, so it's amazing how practicing gratitude every day can adjust your mindset to be more positive, to be more, you know, uh, to bring more abundance and prosperity into your life. And a lot of it is just because you're shifting your
Perspective.
energy and your mindset
Mm-hmm.
because your perspective. You're grateful for what you have because who needs everything? You know what I mean? We don't need everything. I mean, if we have shelter, we have food. I'm healthy. I have people who love me and support me, and you know, all my family and friends are also in good health. There's just so much to be grateful for that um, it helps with the mental wellness of thinking that you know I have everything I need.
Mm.
I don't need to have to go do this or have to go be that person. And this also helps with like if like if I happen to fail in a business venture, or if a relationship failed, whether it's a friendship or past boyfriends or whatever, being able to be in that space of understanding that maybe not everything works out, and not everything is meant to be um you know all bright and shiny and happens in your life. It's a matter of how we take that,
Yeah.
and take that and we grow with it. So practicing gratitude, reading, walking, spending time with Mother Nature. um what else? Mental wellness. I mean, I love to eat. I don't know if that has anything to do with mental wellness, but
That's a good social skill to have for
that
mental wellness, for sure. Yes. Eating is a community
yeah.
thing for
But
sure.
I feel like going out there and being able to enjoy life, right? And to me, for me anyways, food is part of our sustenance.
Yeah.
So if I can go and spend time with friends, or even I eat lunch by myself a lot, and if I could just go somewhere and eat some good food, I feel like that just helps.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can totally relate. I love just after I teach my classes, I'll just go have my smoothie, and it's the one thing that I really enjoy doing, and it's something that I do, often by myself when I'm driving home, and it's just like that I'm grateful for, the job that I have, the things that I just accomplished. And now it's like one thing I know I'm replenishing my body. When you're eating healthier, you have that, I think, fulfillment and enjoyment, inside of yourself. So, okay. Well, this is all great. I think we just have maybe two more questions here. And, we have a few, but I think based on our time, I'm gonna ask you two more questions, and I'm gonna give you one tough one. And that is, if you don't mind, you can say no, but if you don't mind sharing with us one of the toughest challenges that you had to face, with a lot of courage.
That's a really good question. I don't know. I have to be honest, Leah. I don't know. It's not that how do I say this? It's not that I went through life without any hardships or challenges, but I think how I take things, I don't think I've gotten to that precipice or like that line. Let me see here. I think maybe I'm gonna pick this. So I feel like right now, one of my toughest challenges, like right now, um, is being able to take all this negativity in the world and being able to still be a good person. You know,
Yeah.
I talk about I always work on my mental health, my physical and emotional health. And it's with all these things that are happening. And I feel like, we are upon some of our toughest toughest challenge right now. It's, I don't want to get into politics or, any news and stuff like that. But I think, in today's day, what is it, April 20th, 2023, there's just a lot of things going on that we have to be able to face it with courage and face it with love and face it with patience. And I just think that right now is actually one of the tougher challenges. The thankfully the pandemic itself in 2020 and 2021, thankfully, I was able to, go through that without too many hardships. So I'm very grateful for that. And I feel like post pandemic that the world is, can I swear it's like a shitstorm, right? It's, I feel like there's this, I was talking to my husband the other day and I was saying how I feel this really like deep, dark, like, vibrating energy in the air, right? And I feel like there's a lot of bad and evil that's going on. And I think that right now, this is one of our toughest challenges. And not just me, I think for everyone who is a spiritual warrior, everyone who are good people, because right now it's so easy. It's so easy for like the hero to become the villain. It's so easy for us to be bad people. And it's so easy to fall into the trap of,
there's not enough, it's over, life is over, bad. Yes.
Giving up and whatnot. So I feel like, thankfully, growing up and in my 20s and my 30s, sure, I had some challenges, but I think right now, in today, in our climate, our environment, our mental health of this world today is going to be our toughest challenges as spiritual warriors, because it's going to be up to people like us to take all that bad energy and make it into something that's better.
Wow.
To me,
no, that really, you hit a root for me too, because I feel extremely similar to you. I definitely have walk through a lot of things. And I think just like my tool set, how I'm built, I knew they were challenges, but the way I was able to perceive them, I didn't see it the way others would see it. And so I've gone a really far way in my life. And yes, I was inspired while I was driving cross country when the pandemic hit, from California to Illinois, not knowing what I was coming into or what was going to happen, and thinking of all of the other people, the students I wouldn't see, what are they going to do? And it inspired me to start this platform and to start this podcast so that we could come together and build this community of people. And you sharing all of that with me now here really helps me understand, why you're helping out. I'm like, gosh, I'm like, we're not like making a bunch of money or anything right now. We're just getting started. We're like grassroots, and you come to every meeting and you're always so passionate, and you're always taking those extra steps for the follow-up notes that I would never do, hand holding me and the rest of the teammates, and it just makes so much sense now that, you obviously believe in spiritual warrior world, from a deeper root that you just shared with me. And that was so beautiful. So thank you for sharing that with me. And then I'm just going to wrap it up here before we close up our podcast today. But you already kind of touched upon this. So I love that this is going to be our last question for today. And that is, what inspires or motivates you?
Ay.
That could be another 20 minutes, I'm sure.
I know, yes, it could. It could be another 20 minutes. It's there's always the easy answers, right? My mom, my siblings, my husband, the grandkids. I want to try to make this a better world for the grandkids, and my nephew, who's about to turn 1 this year. So, those would be some of the easy answers, right? That inspires and motivates me to do what I do. In the grand scheme of things, let's say without any of that, I feel like I have this innate like desire, like this inner. I don't know how to explain it.
I'm laughing because it's the same. I feel the same. It's like, yes.
It's hard to for me, it's hard to explain to people. And I oftentimes, like, my husband will roll his eyes, or he'll always kind of like make fun of me for stuff. But in the end, it's this innate desire to want to do better, and to want to help uplift people, because I am so, in a way, I am so like blessed, and I'm in a good spot in my life. I feel like there's millions of people that, if it's something as simple as me giving them a hug, or if my single one word or sentence inspires them to be a better person, it's like I said earlier, believing in the greater good, and believing in something that's bigger than us, right? So to me, I have this like emotional, like not attachment, but like I feel like I have these like emotional and spiritual like energy forces, in a way, how to say that, that attaches itself to the universe, to where I feel like there's so much more to just this body, right? To just, to just this cup, and it's like we're here in this one moment in time, of which this one moment in time, no matter what you believe, no matter what science, what religious, no matter what you believe, we are here in this one moment in time. So why not take this one moment in time and live our best life, and do what we can, and try to make a difference, and try to be better, right? Try to like, put our energy force into the world, because in the end, we're all going to die, right? And if we die and we leave and we become something else, what are we going to look back upon this one life and say what we did? To me, that's like one ways I can explain it, but a big part of it is I'm just really motivated to, you know, to help others. It's just, I'm in a good spot in my life, and I want other people to find some peace and happiness too.
Yeah.
If it's for a moment.
Yeah, no, you are absolutely a catalyst for that light and that love, and you exude that courage and showing what it's like to just go out and attack your day. And I think it's always so refreshing to be around people just like you. And again, I'm so grateful that you're a part of my team, because you are the kind of people that I want to be around, is knowing too. It's like every time I'm walking in to teach a fitness class, I never know whose life I'm touching or how I'm going to impact their life and their day. And we don't know other people's struggles. We don't really know what they're going through, but we know how we can show up. And having that innate desire, it's been ever since I was a little girl, always wanting to help. And that is just what drives me to this very day. And so I just feel so honored and grateful for your friendship and for your constant support with Spiritual Warrior World. And I think we're going to conclude our podcast for today. And thank you so much for being our guest, and our fans get the chance to get to know you even more. And Pong, is there any social platforms that if people want to reach out to you or come follow you, that they could find you? We know Spiritual Warrior World, but any other platforms or handles that you'd like to share?
Sure. So currently I have what I actively use, right? Currently I have an Instagram, a Facebook. I do have a LinkedIn for business, and a TikTok. So my TikTok is Life of Pong, Pang. My Facebook is Pong, Pang.Tao1, and Tao is my last name with T as in Tom, Hao. And then my Instagram is first name, last name, Pong Tao 17.
Awesome. We'll go ahead and place that in the notes below too. So if anybody wants to come and follow Pong besides our Spiritual Warrior World YouTube channel, you can check in with her. And thank you again for being a guest and for one of our awesome team members. I'm so grateful for you. And that's it for today. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me, Leah. I will see you soon. Bye, guys.
See you soon. Bye.
Be a warrior. Stay a warrior. Be inspired. Stay inspired. Join our community. This is Spiritual Warrior